All right, then, welcome back. Breakfast Central on News Central. We're still talking about female genital mutilation across Africa. We're still joined by Selina Nkoile from Kenya. Selina, good morning to you. Welcome to Breakfast Central.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. It's great to be on the show this morning.
All right. Let's talk about this. We're going straight to it. Now, it's all about female genital mutilation. People talk about it from cultural practices, and while awareness and education have, really grown, some communities still, persist and still hold this practice. Now, why is it still holding tight and firm? And, because it's a painful procedure, it's potentially life-threatening to women and very harmful. What are the challenges in eradicating female genital mutilation?
So female genital mutilation for us, my community, for instance, it's more than just a cut. It's actually a rite of passage. So when you talk about female genital mutilation, it's a rite of passage that marks the graduation of a girl from girlhood to womanhood. So it's a significant stage to the community. And usually there is blessings that are involved. The elders, like fathers, bless their daughters. So sometimes it takes, to address FGM, it takes detaching it from culture and looking for ways, alternatives to still have the meaning, but remove the cut, which is the harmful aspect of FGM.
Implications of cutting young women and girls. A lot of people don't understand the full mental and even physical ramifications. What are the implications of FGM on the lives and the physical health of these women and young girls who undergo it?
So first of all, when it comes to now FGM and education, once a girl goes through FGM, usually the next thing they are told is, now wake up, you're a woman. And these girls mostly, they discontinue their education because they can go through child marriage. Also, there's the health implications. So we've seen FGM causing fistula or other, sometimes women have delayed labor because they've gone through FGM, because basically it's a scar. And once the time to give birth arrives, then sometimes it's hard for the birth canal to naturally open because there's an existing scar from the cut.
Yeah.
So again, girls, when they go through FGM, they mostly are followed with teenage pregnancy because they feel like they are grown women and they can go ahead and engage in irresponsible sexual behaviors and they get pregnant. So FGM leads to child marriage, school dropouts, and a lot of other health implications to the girls. And some girls even bleed to death during the process.
Oh. Well, Selina, we know that across Africa, just like in 27 out of the 28 countries where it is very prevalent, FGM, they have legislation criminalizing this practice, including Nigeria, Egypt, Ethiopia, but the enforcement is generally weak and prosecutions are rare. Why is this so? Despite, they having laws, but they can't enforce it when it comes to stopping this practice of FGM.
We miss the point, especially now when it comes to, we have very beautiful laws. We have laws that ensure that girls are protected. We have laws that arrest culprits of FGM. But now the challenge is now enforcement. They don't enforce the laws. And once laws are not enforced, they just remain laws written somewhere. For instance, in my village, we don't even have a police station. So how do you even report an FGM case? And even there's no those mechanisms for reporting. There is no timely reporting. Most of the time, since now it's rural community good practice, by the time the information and news get to the relevant officers or authorities, it's already too late. and the damage has already been done to the girl. So that's now human resources and all the personnel, if they can be trickled down to the grassroots, then it can improve. But in terms of laws, we have very beautiful laws, which I think if implemented, then they can accelerate this fight against FGM. But again, I think another thing is actually involving communities in the actual fight to end FGM. Because sometimes it's like the government against the communities. And once they're not all on the same page and they have decided this is the way we go, then the government will be campaigning against FGM and the communities continue practicing, and we will not find any progress there.
Okay, so you make a really important point in terms of involving the communities in this fight, because we also see that some of this fight is coming from international partners, and there has been the belief that the persistence of FGM can be traced to the fact that those practicing it are not actually aware of the harm they're causing. I'm not one of those who actually believes that. But people believe that establishing a public health initiative to eradicate FGM in Africa is considered imperative. So while we're working on the communities and we're working on the continent, what sort of international frameworks or strategies should be established to help address FGM? Because we've seen situations where Africans in the diaspora actually bring their young girls home to have the procedures done on them, and then they go back to wherever countries they're based. So there has to be some kind of international collaboration. What do you think it should be?
For me, I think the international collaboration should have communities in the heart, at the heart of this fight, because if it's always rules or laws or information coming from outside into the community, it's the community that knows best about the practice, why they do, and trust me, it's them who know what it takes to end it. So as long as we don't meaningfully engage the community from the ideation to the implementation processes of ending this task, then it will always be like bottom approach, which communities will never take seriously. So if only they can involve the communities and work with them in this journey, then I think we can have significant. So yes, support can come from outside, but have the community make decisions and make recommendations of what can work, what cannot work, and how to do it.
All right, Selina, just before we let you go, now the theme for this year's International Day is No Time for Global Inaction, Unite, Fund and Act to End Female Genital Mutilation, which the UN Secretary Antonio Guterres is calling for collaboration to eliminate the practice by at least 2030. It's a positive, aim, to really help health and education and economic advancements for girls and women. But do you think this is achievable?
It is achievable, and I think this year's been is really good because then it puts everybody in the position to act. We actually tomorrow have a function, an event in our village to commemorate this day and just to remind the community that it's everybody's responsibility to end FGM. But for me, I really think that if only human resources and financial aid can find its way down to the grassroots, which is not happening at the moment, then I think it will be a good starting point, because then we will be able to hear the voices of the communities, their recommendations, what they think, and then we can be walking the same talk and not just fighting the cat in conference halls and in high-level panels.
All right, Selina, thank you so much for joining us. We know that tomorrow is the actual day, but of course it's a Saturday, we won't be here. So we wanted to make sure we're able to highlight this very important conversation. Selina, thank you for joining us on Breakfast Central.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
All right.
Yes,
and she does this community work right in her community among the Maasai, which are one of the communities that's actually, I guess I would say, hardest hit by FGM traditional practices.
Yes, it continues to prevail, not just in Africa, but, Middle East and, some families. You mentioned about what, people even in Western countries, but from African origin.
Bringing their girls home.
Yeah, it's called cotton season.
Yeah.
Unfortunately so. So you want to think that even the diasporans are still having this, that mental side of we need to do this for our young girls while we're trying to stop it even right here at home.